The other day, I was looking at my brokerage account and I saw that I'm down about 30%. Now that hit me super hard, but then I realized that a lot of other people probably don't know what to do in these situations. So today I'm going to give you all 5 investment tips that I made up to help me make sure I come out ahead of this market when everything is said and done. So let's jump into it. Now I'm recording outside today because I'm sick and tired of being stuck inside my house for the past week, and I'm sure a lot of you feel the same exact way. But before we jump into it, I owe one of you a shout out, and I randomly chose the subscriber Zena Kai. Thank you, Zena, for subscribing to this channel and supporting it. Your support really goes a long way. If you're interested in being featured in my next video, all you have to do is go ahead and subscribe to this channel and comment down below letting me know that you did that. Unless you're Patrick Starr and live under a rock, I'm sure you know exactly how crazy the markets have been these last few days. So I'm not going to go into detail over everything that has happened because I talked about it in my last video, but I'll give you a quick update. 3 highlights are that the Fed cut interest rates again, and now they're close to almost 0%. The second thing is that 2 days ago, on Monday, March 16th, the markets plunged by their greatest amount since the Great Depression, and that triggered another circuit breaker. And the last and most important thing is that people are being told to stay at home, and more businesses are being shut down, which means that our problems are not going anywhere anytime soon. So I really hope that you all are keeping yourselves safe. Now let's talk about making some money. The first thing you need to do is make sure you don't panic sell at a loss. A lot of people see the money that they've lost and their first instinct is to go right ahead and sell it. But it's all a mental game. You don't actually lose the money until you sell your investment. The market is bound to bounce back eventually, whether that's 1 year or 5 years from now. So there's no point in solidifying your losses right now unless you really need the money. You also shouldn't be trying to time the market because that's a mistake that hurts a lot of investors. The investment strategy that I like to follow is called dollar cost averaging, and that's when you put smaller amounts of money into the market over a long period of time. This helps protect you against the highs and lows in the market, which we're experiencing a lot of lately. Nobody can time the exact low or high of a market, and a lot of people stay out of it because of that. I made the same exact mistake. In 2016, I thought that the markets were bound to come down, so I didn't invest. The markets did exactly the opposite of what I thought they would. They rallied higher and higher, and I lost out on making a lot of money. If I would have dollar cost averaged, not worrying about the highs or lows of the market, I would have made a lot more money than I have so far. Here's a simple example of dollar cost averaging. Let's say you're comfortable with putting $12,000 a year into the market. Instead of putting that $12,000 into the market all at once, what you would do is put $1,200 into the market every single month. You could even make it bi-weekly or weekly, which would be even better because it protects you against the highs and lows even more. The next thing you should be doing as soon as possible is invest heavily in mutual funds, index funds, or ETFs. Now, I love these because they're the most simple, easiest, and safest way to invest into the stock market. You don't have to put in the time and effort that it takes to research individual stocks and make sure your portfolio is just right. The funds will do all of that for you. Of course, they charge you a fee for this, and a lot of people make the mistake of investing in funds that have fees that are just way too high. Doing that is a problem because if fees are high enough, they'll take away a good portion of your gains. A lot of funds have a bunch of different types of fees and don't even call them fees directly. A lot of time they're called front end and back end loads, and you really need to be careful about those. My rule of thumb is to never invest in a fund that has overall fees of over 0.5%. There are a bunch of really good funds out there that have super low fees. You just have to do the research. Now, I'm not going to go into detail about the funds I'm investing in because that could be a whole video in and of itself, but some of my favorite ones are Vanguard funds and SPY, which has a management fee of just 0.05%. Now, if you're a little riskier, you can also go ahead and invest in individual stocks, but you really need to make sure you're investing in the right ones that can bounce back after this market. But you should have a decent mix between mutual funds and individual stocks. I talked in my last video about 5 stocks that really have the potential to bounce back from this market. So if you're interested, feel free to check that out. But my main criteria for investing in stocks is to make sure that it's a company that I believe in and they actually have a good product. I also want to make sure they have great long-term growth potential and a really good strategy. So it takes a lot of research to make sure you're getting into the right stocks. You should never buy a stock just because somebody else said you should. Like Warren Buffett says, never invest in something you don't understand, because that is a sure way to lose money. And the last and most important thing is to not just invest in stocks, but to diversify your investments. You should not rely on stocks to become a millionaire. If you follow what I said earlier and dollar cost average into the market, you definitely have the potential to become a millionaire after like 40 years, which is great because you can be in your 60s or 70s and have the freedom to do whatever you want with your money. But I personally don't want to wait that long. So if you're like me, what you need to do is use your money in a stock market as a tool to build up your wealth and put that into other investments, such as real estate or other businesses. If you follow these steps continuously, you're bound to become richer than if you just worked a 9 to 5 and put money into your 401k like most people do. So that's it for this video. I actually really enjoyed recording outside. Let me know in the comments if you think I should do that more and more in the future. It's starting to get dark now, so I have to go, but don't forget to hit that subscribe button and leave any questions you have in the comment section down below, and be sure to hit that like button. Until my next video, take care.